would be devoted to the rubber roof here at the middle school, and about $125,000 would be devoted to the rubber roof at the high school. And that is primarily C-wing. The majority of the rubber roof at C-wing in the high school would be repaired. In summary, what's happening to the rubber roofs at both buildings is the rubber roof kind of delaminates from the subsurface, which is generally a poured concrete platform, and as it happens over time with wind and rain and humidity and weather, as it delaminates, it starts to bubble. When it begins to bubble, it becomes potentially put yourself in a situation where you can stop leaking. So what would happen is, in this project, the rubber roof would be repaired and or replaced. This is clearly in the area of preventive maintenance, and the current age of our rubber roofs are such that it's not unusual at this stage to consider this repair. So that's the bonded item. Now, in addition, we've learned that, again, through members of the Finance Committee and Selectmen, that there are free cash dollars available to both town and school. And the recommendation that we've received is that the school consider capital requests in the amount of $100,000. And as a result, the superintendent at his administrative council meeting, we've been engaged in discussions about what would be appropriate requests for these funds. And we're here today to discuss some of these ideas with you. I believe you have in your packets a capital request sheet. Begin with the first one, which relates to what we would consider to be hopefully the finalization, if you will, or completion of the security program here in the school system. As the security system has been implemented, certain enhancements have been identified, and they fall into two categories. The first is to upgrade the security lighting as appropriate at all of the buildings. I think many of you know that our parking lots and or exterior lighting is not what we'd like it to be. We've known that for a long time. There is energy efficient alternatives for us now that can be timed and would provide enhanced security around our buildings, parking lots and approach areas. We estimate that to be costing us, I should say that I mentioned 5 schools. The bachelor school is fine at this point in terms of exterior lighting, so we will be focusing on the other 4 schools. In addition, our security system doesn't really take into account all of the exterior doors that are present in all of the buildings. And for enhanced security, we'd like to install audible door alarms on selected exterior doors at all of the buildings. Those audible alarms would be just as you see. If you open this door, an alarm goes off. So it allows school personnel to know if a door is ajar. Unfortunately, from time to time, doors get open for ventilation and or access to recess, things of that nature. But while that's something that personnel want to do, it does challenge our security. So we'd like to furnish and install audible door alarms on appropriate doors at the buildings. We are working with contractors now. The estimate that Mr. Hardacre has determined at this point is that the costs of those 2 security-related projects would be about $41,500. Moving on, there are 3 others. Number 2, when the high school was renovated about 20 or so years ago, 1989, there were double-hung windows replaced throughout the classrooms. Those double-hung windows have never worked properly. The springs within them are such that they're a safety hazard. As you lean over the heating units to try to open a window, they can come down on you, and we've actually had instances of people hurting themselves with these things coming down. So we've had to bolt these windows so that they're not open, because they shouldn't be open given they're almost like a guillotine as they come down. So It compromises ventilation, and it's a shame to have these windows that can't be opened. So, Mr. Bernard is advocating for the repair of 35 of these windows. They're not replacement. The double hung pane section, the so-called light section, wouldn't be replaced. This would be almost replacing the hardware, the springs, and the internal hardware that allow these double hung windows to go up and down. So we understand that repair to be around $7,500. The third item involves the air conditioning of the network operations center that is adjacent to or in the vicinity of the high school library. When the high school and middle school were built, I think it was long before we understood that there would be a lot of computer equipment inside a building. Computer equipment warms a building, warms a room just by the radiant heating. And we understand that we need to keep the air temperature in those spaces a lot cooler than they are presently. If Pam were here, she would reinforce the fact that we've got issues at both the middle and high school where our network equipment is. So we propose to spend $7,500. Excuse me, we propose to spend a total of $15,000 at the high school to first provide air conditioning and ventilation to the Network Operations Center, which serves as the hub for the 5 schools, as well as repair an existing rooftop air conditioning unit that houses computer classrooms adjacent to the library. Total cost there $15,000. Lastly, number 4, and this is an item that we've long had on our large capital list, is the replacement of our 2001 pickup truck that is used as a primary vehicle for school operations. The pickup truck is a primary vehicle for our ground staff that handles lawn care, field care, moves tractors around. You'll see a trailer in back of it most of the time. I feel we did a nice job maintaining this truck for the 8 years of very heavy use. I should also mention this is a truck we use for snow plowing, all of the parking lot there in the school department. So this vehicle is nearing the end of its life. Our repair costs are escalating, and we propose to spend $36,000 to acquire a new medium-sized utility truck for the school department, and at the same time purchase snow removal equipment so that that truck can be used for that purpose. So all in all, these repairs total $100,000, which is the amount that the finance planning team is recommending we consider. So we make that proposal to you for your consideration.
I don't even know if the truck was 40. I was like, pushing that envelope.
You were at the meeting, so I might have heard wrong. I thought they had $100,000 total in free cash, not $100,000 for just the school department.
Could be one and the same.
Could it,
I know that
unless they had $100,000 total and they said the school, it would go to the school department projects. That's what I recall. I don't have the paperwork in front of me, so.
I recall the use of free cash, non-bonded items for $100,000.
Right, but I thought it was for the whole town, both
Unless
school
they're-
and town.
Could be they're bonding more than we are. I don't know.
I'll check that and confirm that with the committee. If I'm mistaken, I'll confirm that with the committee, but my recollection is the $100,000.
Well, why don't we go with the approval,
Okay.
and we can always,
We're forced to prioritize.
and then you can have some priority order ready for us.
We're looking at some information here that appears to say $200,000.
Okay. So 200,000 total?
Yes.
And 100,000 for us, 100,000 for town departments, okay?
Right, which is wonderful. And I might add that our unassigned reduction in our budget has been taken care of. There are funds available. The 200,000?
The 286
Yes,
is covered by
296 from town
296, but
meeting,
not the,
Right.
there's still other.
There was
Not the
different
new-
flavors of unidentified
Yes,
reductions.
yes.
Yes, but I meant when we left in June, we had that
286.
286 identified. That will will be covered.
Right.
Because certainly we don't want people to think that we're spending in capital when our budget is cut that
No,
exposure.
this was the recommendation of the fairly conservatively finance planning team. But to reiterate what you're saying, we're still dealing with it's sometimes difficult for the public to understand how you're spending money on one hand while you're short of another hand. And that same discussion came up when we talked about the artificial turf field in a way.
Right.
It's the same kind of issue. Yet, those who deal with finance understand that there are different pockets of money that are earmarked in very specific ways. And you do not have the opportunity to say, for example, gee, let's not install an artificial turf field and let's use that to hire more people.
Or let's take this 100,000 in high teachers because it's money that has to go to free cash, or we basically lose it, is my understanding, correct?
Well, I think that maybe that's not I think the example of the artificial turf field was a better one because that was money that was earmarked for recreational purposes out of
Right.
Hillview. Free cash could have other ways of earmarking. I mean, if it wasn't spent, it could be reallocated at a town meeting.
However, it might not be recurring revenue.
It's
Right.
not
It's not
recurring.
That's
In
the
all
problem.
likelihood, That's the
Right.
difference.
It's a one-time,
Right.
as you say, so, but it's not, there are no restrictions on this one,
Correct.
really, it's just how, and I think the town makes a decision every year to try to reinvest in its capital infrastructure every year to some extent. And I think these examples are appropriate preventive maintenance items. The roof is a perfect example, the windows are another. So,
On the lighting, Carl, do you know if there'll be lighting on the gym side parking lot at the high school? That's pitch dark.
Yeah.
I mean, I just walked out of there the other night from the back to school night, and it's pitch dark there. You can't see walking through that lot.
I would certainly, we haven't even laid out the plan, but
Okay.
I've written that down as
Okay.
something we have to emphasize.
All right.
Thank you, that's a good point. And there are other areas, I know Little School
Little
has
School,
dark
yes.
areas as well, although we have made some changes recently there. But we have a lot of work to do with lighting and security.
So can we have a motion to? Second? Second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Right.
I just had this discussion about the budget, and I do want to emphasize that, that this money cannot be considered part of the operating budget or put toward it. And in addition, I do remain very, very concerned about additional costs that we will incur this year in special education. And even though I've shared some of that information that could come close to $200,000 more, today learned of another potential increase that could add.
In addition
In
to.
addition to that. So we need to be very, very cautious and careful as we go forward.
I also think you have to raise the red flag. I saw the story in the Globe today. The state's expecting to be 100 to 200 million short on revenues for September, and projections I've seen, you should expect about a $500 million drop in projections by the end of the year. So at some point, we may see more local aid cuts, and I think we have to prepare for that.
I think it's inevitable.
Yeah. Right.
I'm going to Suburban Coalition meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, Michael Whitman's speaking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Framingham, Whitman's
Yeah, he's
talking,
good.
a couple of representatives will be there. We'll try to see if there's anything they can foresee in the future and give us some heads up on it. But it looks to me like the state is continuing to spiral down in revenue. And where they cut first.
Locally.
Well,
And then
We are in
tax.
an unsustainable condition
Right.
Well,
and
you-
getting worse.
You remember the revenues figures for this year were somewhere between 2 and 3 billion less than last year. So then you tack another $500 million potentially onto that, and you see the predicament. It's pretty severe.